Hi everybody. Happy Tuesday! Drum roll, please. Anyway, Prativa here, and I wanted to make a quick video because I really needed to do some breath work and just breathe through it, because I believe one of my pet peeves is when people are not motivated and self-inspired and able to take action steps, right? And just remaining in the mundaneness. And this is definitely different when it's clinical, right? Like clinical depression, those things definitely get that. But it's because I have this drive in me right now, and this motivation and a why and the self-preservation. And when you're living with people who are elderly, aka my parents, and who are not as driven, it can be challenging, because it's where I want them to do certain things, especially for their health. And I want them to, strive and thrive and have a routine and get going and this, that, and the third. And I've come to realize that, all this is that control within myself, where I want to control someone else so they can be on the same level as me or want to do the same as me in life. But it's like, to them, their chapter is done, right? And it all goes back to mental. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it doesn't matter what age you are. Definitely understand the bodily restrictions as you get older, but that's the reason why to have better health prior to even aging. So as you get older, if you stay fit, you stay active, you do yoga or whatever your thing is, it's to not put that limitation on yourself. Oh, I'm old now, or it's done now, and this, that, and the third. Because when that happens, you kill yourself. You mentally die, and the fear kills you prior to you even physically going from this world. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to say, and I wanted to share that because I didn't know what I didn't know today, and to feel within myself my why and how bad I want something for my life and how I want to design my life and the freedom that I want for my life. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, people can have even the knowing of it, but if you don't have the ambition and the drive for it, and if you don't have the tools that it takes and just that wanting it bad enough factor, then it's just going to be a place where you may feel stuckness, and it's going to be a place where you feel stuckness and stagnant both. So it's really interesting, because I'm just going to pause because things around me have shifted as I'm speaking. I feel in this life, when you really, when you're just doing something, it's like you do it, right? And not everything needs to be so vocalized. Not everything needs to be shared with other people, because it's personal to yourself. And this is something that I've come to learn about me, because I love to be a free spirit, which I am, right? Definitely am, 100%. And I'm coming to unlearn things, or coming to put some discipline steps or some routines and some habits change within myself, so I'm just not wandering and free floating, right? To have that intention behind why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just to have the freedom of creativity, definitely, for sure. But to know that, hey, I'm doing this to produce, these results, right? And all I can do is try. And if something doesn't work, I'm going to keep creating, and I'm going to keep trying for as long as I live, because that's my passion within myself. That's my dream and my goal-getter self. And I am the ideal for my purpose calling, for my soul's journey, for whatever it is I'm here to do, and how my life is unfolding. That's for me to know, for me to do, between my God and I. And that's truly what I believe in. So just take today to recognize within yourself, like, if you have your pet peeves, or just how you are and your ambition and your drive. Not everyone may be the same, right? And it's like, only if, right? Or we wish that people could change, or we wish, for example, if you have people, your loved ones, family members, or anybody else that who struggles with addiction. There's so many different addictions, not just drug and alcohol, addictions to phone, addiction to a food, right? Addiction to watching porn, addiction to It could be literally anything. Addicted to poor romantic relationships. Like you have an addiction, you have an attachment, to keep dating people with the same patterns, and being in abusive relationships. All of these things. And no one is exempt. No one is free of that. La da 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 da. You just live this perfect life, even if you're a coach or whatever, and you teach people how to scale 10x and blah blah blah. And let me tell you something, there's stuff that we all have as human beings. Like we all have stuff, and you could be good at your job, or you could be good at your business or whatever, doing that thing and earning that income, great. But you could be over here having like 10 different addictions. Like you could be over here having whatever, like these fetishes and like all this dark stuff, right? If you flip the mask and you flip the page, you don't know how people live inside their homes, right? Someone could have like a nursing degree, go home and beat their kids. Like literally, like I've experienced in the fields that I've worked, like things such as this, where someone can be, oh my gosh, so that's so nice, like you're a nurse or you're a mental health professional and this, that, and the third, and then you don't know how that person lives. Like literally I've seen like hoarder homes, like people who are like hoarders, right, in my field, like, and you can have like this nice job and everything, and it's like you come home and it's like, what the fuck, right? Anyway, I'm just like sharing now, and really I just feel such fire energy. I don't follow astrology so much. I know like there was a full moon meditation going on like something in Cancer, but point being that feels good. It feels good to work for yourself. It feels good to work towards something for yourself. It feels good to know that you're going somewhere. It feels good to just create, to know you have something of your own out there in the world. I feel like that's the most prosperous and most important thing one can do, is knowing that you have something of your own in the world. And I just wish for everybody to, whenever you're feeling that you can't do it, or like you're just not in that part of your journey where that drive's not coming, that motivation's not coming, and you feel depression and you just feel sadness, or whatever that part of your journey, maybe, that's what it's supposed to be for that time being, right? Doesn't mean that you're going to stay there forever. And it's like you can finally breathe when you have that overcoming and you're like, I don't live there anymore, right? And the only thing I believe in since I was younger is what lives in here, right? Love lives here. I used to want to get a tattoo that said that love always lives here. And as long as I have this breath within me, as long as I have this drive within me, as long as I have this passion to do something with my life, and that I'm not going to be settling for less, just to have that belief and that awareness in itself, oh man, like how far that can take you. And to cut out the noise, as in forget everybody else and what other people have to say, what your family members have to say, what the naysayers have to say, what these bystanders are doing, all of this junk, right? You keep creating, you get out there and you keep doing whatever it is you want to do that you feel like you don't want to stop doing, despite what someone else has to say, because that is the win, that is the nourishment, that is the juice right there. And if you have that, you have something nobody could take from you. And it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. I truly think that if you can laugh when someone puts you down, you could just laugh at that and brush it off, like water rolling off a duck's back. And you don't need all your ducks lined up in a row. You don't need to have so much money, this, that, and the third. You just have to have the drive, the willpower to figure it out. Watch YouTube and figure it out, whatever it is. Talk to somebody who's figured it out. How did someone else do it? And yes, of course, we need money in this world. But what I'm really saying is it starts in here, and for you to have the ability, like physical capabilities and the mental attitude, the positive attitude that you need to develop something, boy, if you can have that, I really feel like everybody could win. And if we're just able to get out of that rut or that feeling, right? If we're able to just in hope and pray and just really do our best and try, really just try, like, I definitely understand the clinical aspects because I've been there, but I always knew, even those times of suicide ideations and clinical depression, I couldn't even get out of bed. Like, it was so bad. I was asleep for so long. I struggled so much. I don't even know how. I really thought I was going to fail school. I failed math 3 times. I really thought I would never make it. You know, I would sit in my cars alone and cry. Like every car I've had, like I would feel so alone in the world, even in my journey through university and the racism and like all these facing these different things and having your own personal life to deal with and then to take care of yourself mentally. Oh my God. College is the most anxious thing in the world. And yeah, so when all of this happens, it's like I told myself before I even knew what affirmations were or really anything about mental health, I told myself someone out there needs me. That was my driving factor. That was my force. That was that fire energy coming through for me. And I'm a fighter spirit. I'm very resilient, very strong person, very like really like fucking Jedi, as my friend says, like supernatural powers, baby. I don't know how I made it, but it's through God I made it, and I'm here talking to you now. So yeah, I wanted to say that if you can affirm to yourself and just that willpower, I just had that willpower that I am going to make it. One day I am going to overcome this trauma. One day I am going to be on the other side of depression. Just that belief. And it is my willpower, my divinity. And I can't speak for everybody and I can't say everybody has this, but I really wanted it bad. And I just feel like whenever it's something I want bad enough, God will make a way. And I remember when I studied through Bob Proctor's Institute, Proctor Gallagher Institute, in the self-development thinking into results mastermind program. In that program, they, you know, one of the things that Bob Proctor shared is, it was a quote. I don't know the quote verbatim, okay? But it's basically where life will make a way, right? You don't have to worry about the how, but when you make the decision, hey, I'm going to do this, right? And you really start putting those action steps, it's like you'll meet somebody who can help you with that. You could, you know, you're going to find a job that is aligned to what you want to do, or excuse me, I had a burp, but you're going to find things are going to start coming together for you. And, I know all this stuff, if you're especially used to hearing it, it can sound so cliche or so just like you've heard it before. You just listened to something earlier today saying the same thing. But it's so nice for somebody who's not heard it this way. It's so nice to keep repeating those things to yourself. It's so nice that repetition is key, right? To go into from surviving to thriving, because I really feel repetition is the answer when it comes to emotional impact. Repetition can really, really shift you. Repetition or the tragedy aspect that Bob told us about. 2 things can emotionally shift you. And I've said this so many times in my videos. Whoever watches them, great. Whoever doesn't watch them, great. But I'm going to keep repeating this and it stays in my mental, in my mental for sure. And that's 2 things can change you. Daily repetition, right? To have a positive life. Or something like a 9/11, like a horrible tragedy that's, you know, happened in your life, shifts everything within you. You have nothing to lose. You have no fear. You just become full out go-getter, restless to succeed, whatever. And of course, on the trauma aspect of things, trauma response, you're restless, you know, you're in survival mode technically. And when I say like you go from surviving to thriving when you do these things, is because I don't know that I haven't studied about this, and the reason why I'm pausing, catching myself as I'm saying this, because I don't want to just say something and it's not true, and I don't want someone to take everything I say as you know, that, oh, Pratibha said it and like, yeah, she must have like really known. So what I'm really saying is, you know, there's parts of me and I wonder what's all survival mode versus the thriving aspect. I feel like I'm just now on the thriving mode, but I've been in survival for so long, like many years, that you know, even my therapist would say, you know, I am like wired. Like that's something my therapist I was seeing said to me a few months ago. And the reason I say surviving and thriving when you do these things is because you want to change your life, right? You want to shift. So through daily repetition, doing those habits, writing those affirmations, gratitude, whatever it is you want to do, that feel good stuff, exercise, write your gratitude list, read 30 minutes a day, whatever routine you want it to be. I'm not telling you what to do as a routine, right? Like I'm not coaching you here. And whatever that is, when you do that, from surviving to thriving, as in you can feel at ease, you can feel like you can breathe again, you can feel good about yourself again. And when you do the other aspect, when it comes to something that's out of your hands, out of your control, a tragedy happens, whether you knew it was coming or not, that emotionally shifts you physically, your body, your DNA. That's what neurodiversity people talk a lot about, neurodivergence, you know, ADD, ADHD, autism, all these things. we all are neurodivergent. I've come to learn this through Trauma Rewired. Thank you so much. And because if you have PTS, if you've experienced any, traumas that have shifted your brain, literally it's just that your brain's not, formation is not the same of your brain. And that's really what being neurodivergent means. So anything you want to do in life, look it up. Anything you want to know, look it up. Like research. Google is my best friend, and Google could be your best friend too. Now there's ChatGPT. There's so much out there, and that's what I use. I use AI to look, like the results come from Google, but it's like AI. So yeah, I am so glad that I got to speak, because I really feel like that's within me, as a speaker, to speak. It's how I function, as my journey, and as I process through this journey, this life. And I bring everybody along with me, in the sense of, if you're in my realm, socially or physically in my life, I love you so, so much. I love you. I love my friends so, so much. I love the community I've created. I love just connecting with people, sharing. And I've been giving so much. I've come to learn how to give, how much to give, when to give, what feels best for me. What is it I need to be doing first as a priority for myself, versus just giving freely. Do I really need to put 20 minutes of my time telling someone about this, that, and the third? Did they ask? No. You know what I mean? So like, there's ways that I've changed, as in like, my time is sacred. What I do with my time is sacred. Pratibha comes first. Yes, I'm using third person. I come first. If I am not my best self, and F the cliche and all, I literally cannot produce great results. I literally cannot produce probably at all, and procrastinate and things of that nature. So that's really what I wanted to tell you today. And I hope that we're a few days into January already, but I really hope that even if it's feeling good for you, or even if it's feeling bad for you, just know that there's so many more months ahead, and we can only hope, right? And courage, hope, inspiration. That's what Chai Together embodies. And initially I wanted to post this video on Free Spirits Fly, my other personal page, but I really feel like I may interconnect them both, because I feel like that's the season I'm in of my life, interconnecting. And also, I just launched my first There's Beauty in Healing journal. It's just a journal that actually I'm gonna make a whole different video about why I made this journal and what it means to me. So I'm gonna leave that be. So look out for that. I love it. I'm excited for it. And it really embodies the beauty, and to beautify your life. But I'm just thinking about it, because I'm thinking about the design with the lotus and the butterfly and the golden butterfly, and what it all means to me. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Have the best day ever, because you're alive, and this is your opportunity to create something great with your day. Whether you complain about it or you create something great with your day, that's all up to you. Here, and what comes out of here all depends on what you take in. All right? I love you so much. Have a beautiful one. Bye.